By small groups. Guys sitting over here in the front too. Nope, Braden. These two sections. These two sections by small groups. Guys, find your seat. Take a seat. Ladies, over here in these two sections, starting in the front, by your small groups. So ladies, right here, these two sections. No, ladies again. Starting in the front, working your way back. That means you come all the way to the front and fill in with small groups. So here you go, ladies, right there. Take a seat. Starting in the front, not in the back. Starting in the front by your small groups. Yes, I am sure.
Check 1, 2. Continue to adjust the microphone. This is a quick microphone adjustment.
Gentlemen.
Good. Everybody's happy. Checking 1, 2. Awesome.
Gentlemen, starting in the front, I have an open row here. Manny, why do I have an open row here? Move your whole small group up. Let's go. Starting in the front, working our way back. No openings. Let's go. All the guys in these two sections. Ladies in these two. Ladies. These two sections by small group. Find your small group, ladies. You're sitting in these two sections. Guys, find your small group. You're sitting in those two sections. Ladies, these two sections. Gentlemen, you're in the ladies section. Find your small group in those two sections. Gentlemen, find your small group, those two sections. Ladies, these two sections. Find your small groups. Nick, Michael, your small group right up here in the front. Front row right over there. Ladies, by small group right here in the front, these two sections. By small group, these two sections, fill in. So find your small group, sit with your small group in these two sections. Guys are here. Well, Braden, no. Nick's in the front too. Yours is back over here. Are you in the same? You and Michael? There's 20 of you in your small group? Okay. Woo, hello. Fill in on that second row. A couple of you fill in down here. I'm going to have a teacher sit right there. So make spot right there, Nick, between you and Gabe. Gabe, between you two, between you and Nick, there's the teacher going to sit right there. So put a spot right between the two of you. No, you guys split apart and put a teacher right in the middle of you. Gentlemen in the back, are you with your small group? Where's your small group? Wherever your small group is, find your small group. You're sitting with your small group, gentlemen. Take your hoods off. Your mask should be on. Gabe Harris, your mask should be on. Mr. Mayor, if you could come right over here, right there by Nick and Gabe, that would be great. Thank you. So I think we might have a couple more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a couple quick things before I get going. I introduce our speaker today. One, still in the church, we're still in Jackson County. Make sure your masks are on. They're still on. They're up over your nose like they're supposed to be. That we're putting them up. Make sure you're doing that. Your hoods are off. That we're actually paying attention. We're doing what we need to be doing. Second, that what you're going to hear, we're in here today, and so we're going to have a couple different people in different places. We may move some of you guys to a different spot or have a room for somebody else. But here's what I want to share. One, once I introduce our speaker, you're going to hear some really cool things and some really scary things. This presentation is really meant to be in regard to wake you up and help you see kind of what's going on. So put that away. So what you're going to end up doing is, this is a serious presentation. There may be some funny parts along the way, but overall, this is a serious presentation. This has been something that has been through prayer and through really seeing, okay, God, what are you trying to speak? And I think, no, let me rephrase that. I know that some of you are dealing with some of the things that you're going to hear today. It's not even a thing. I know it's happening. So, Coach Hammond, if you could just sit somewhere over here right in the middle. Thank you. So, with that being said, that as we go through and as you're going to be hearing some of the things, I ask and I really hope that this is going to be where your heart is, no matter who you are and where you are, that you are asking yourself first and foremost, God, what are you trying to speak to me today? It's not what's he saying to somebody else, or I'm going to ignore this. But really, hopefully, it's going to be, God, what are you speaking to me? So let me open us in prayer real quick. God, I just thank you for this day. You are amazing, and I thank you for the gifts that you give us all the time. And God, I also thank you for when you bring truth to our lives to help us see and be confronted sometimes with just things that are going on in our lives. I thank you for our speaker today, God. I just pray that you would be with Russ Tuttle, that as he speaks, that you would give him the words that come from you, that you would bless him, and that you would allow every heart and mind that is listening in this room, but also those watching and paying attention on the recording, God, that they would be stirred up to get closer to you. I thank you for this day in your name. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to now introduce, so our speaker today, his name is Mr. Russ Tuttle. He has gone all over the nation and has done presentations along this line, has spoken to hundreds of thousands of students. And so first off, you're up here, you're giving him your undivided attention, you're listening. Please pay attention, but also give it up. Welcome, Mr. Tuttle, to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that a lot. So have you guys ever noticed that some things don't make sense? Right? Some things just don't make sense. So like if this is your friend and you went to his house and you knocked on the door and he greets you like this, you're going to be like, dude, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Like half the door is glass. He's like, oh, hey, I wonder who's at the door. Who could be at the door? And he's looking through this tiny little peephole and half the door is glass. Like I can see into his living room. I can see the reflection of the house behind me. And he's like, oh man, I wonder who's there. So some things just don't make sense, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some stuff that doesn't make sense. So speaking of stuff that doesn't make sense, namaste, my boat, kushuki mein aaj aapke saath aaye hain. What? Who said it's Chinese? It's not Chinese. Not Japanese. Okay, so I'll say it just a little bit slower. Namaste. Mai bahut khush hoon ki mai aaj aapke saath aaye hain. Got it? Did that help a lot? Okay, so here's the thing. So when I was your age, who are my seventh graders? Let me hear seventh graders. Whoop. All right. Seventh graders, rocking the house. Eighth grade. Oh, yeah. Eighth grade, loud and proud. So when I was in seventh and eighth grade, I lived in the country of India. Okay, so my mom and dad were missionaries there. So I grew up in the country of India. Do I look Indian? No, I am not Indian. I'm American. We went to India to be missionaries. And you want to know something that doesn't make sense? One of the things that we learned that doesn't make sense in the country of India was this thing called slavery. So here in the Western world, we like to buy stuff cheap, right? And so I want you to think through that if you knew that these carpets that we want to buy here in America for cheap were handmade by child labor, would that maybe change your attitude a little bit? Because this is not a photoshopped picture of a little boy in tremendous pain. Because you know what would happen when you make a carpet by hand, you're constantly running your fingers over a carpet loom. Just this big wooden structure, and they take those fibers and they run the fiber kind of from the top there. You kind of see that line right there. Okay, so that's the next fiber, and they have to run that all the way down to the fingers. So we would go in these places, you guys, so imagine, everybody take a look at your fingertips. Now imagine that you can see bone and blood. Because what happens is that's how they would make carpets. So if I told you guys that if we leave the school and we go down and we go across the freeway over by the Quick Trip, and right behind the Quick Trip, there's kids over there and they're stuck in slavery. But I'm going to tell you, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get done with this assembly, and we're going to load up the SCA buses, and we're going to go over there, and we're going to fix this. Most of you in this room, you'd be like, this is wrong. This can't be happening to kids in our community. We've got to do something about this. Let's go make this right. Most of you in the room would feel that way. Well, I want to talk to you guys today about something, because I'm actually here to appeal to the hero in every one of you, because we're going to talk about a very difficult subject, a type of slavery that's happening right here in our area, but it's not kids making carpets. It's something that we call domestic minor sex trafficking. It's something that's happening, it's a type of slavery, and it's happening right here in our community to kids who are under the age of 18. And I want to unpack this for you guys and help you understand how you can help us keep each other safer in this community. Because here's the thing, God has called every one of you to serve him, and within that, he gives us specific areas of burden and specific callings. And my prayer is that some of you in the room today are going to get such a passion about this, so you're going to go, you know what, I'm going to go the extra mile in this. Did you know that the Bible calls you a super conqueror? Like, there's a verse in the Bible that says you are more than conquerors. Literally what it means is you are super conquerors. So I want to talk to a group of super conquerors today and help you understand how this thing happens. And it looks a little bit like this. So God in his amazing wisdom designed all of us and gave us personalities. And he gave us some things that we like and some things that we dislike. So that's why we're different. The challenge is that there are people out there, you guys, that I have to tell you, and this pains me. It brings great difficulty me to say this to you, but there are people out there that want to hurt kids. So the Bible tells us that the enemy of our souls comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But remember, God calls to give us life and have it more abundantly. And I want to give you guys some insight into some really tangible things that we engage with probably on a daily basis that can be really detrimental to our relationship with God and with other people, or can actually help enhance it. So what happens is we have these desires and dissatisfaction. So it could be as important as this. Every single one of us, in fact, every person on the planet has this desire to feel beautiful, handsome, and loved. So I had been all the way around the world for the first time by the time I was 5 years old. Because remember, I grew up in a missionary family. So we traveled all over the world. I have never met a person who hasn't had this desire to be cared for. Now, other things that we like and care about, they can play out, you know, my parents have stupid rules, and I wish I had a new phone, and I don't like my curfew, and stuff like that. But here's the thing at your age, okay, 7th and 8th graders, here's the thing. Most of you in the room have at some point felt like this. No one understands me, especially the stinking adults, right? So let's just be you and me. Forget the adults in the room. You don't have to raise your hand, but I'm pretty sure at some point in your life you felt like they don't get me. They just don't understand. Well, I'm going to help you understand why that is. Okay, so God in his amazing plan, when he designed you, the Bible says that you were knit together in your mom's womb. Do you know if you take a microscope and look really deep in your skin that it looks like webbing, it looks like knitting, it looks like you've been knit together? So when it comes to your brain, here's something we know. We know that the human brain is not fully developed until you're about 25 years old. I got news for you. You are in 7th and 8th grade. You're a long way from 219,000 hours of brain development, especially the frontal vortex of your brain, which is where you make good decisions. Anybody here ever made a bad decision? Okay, don't raise your hand. I already know that. But this is going to give you a little explanation. The way God created your brain, this gives you a little insight into why you feel like sometimes no one understands me, especially the adults, because guess what? There's a little lack of communication there. So here's what I want you to do. You're gonna make a very scientific statement to your neighbors. So I want you to generate as much compassion through your eyes as you can, and I want you to look to your friend and your neighbor sitting next to you on the left and right, and I want you to tell them this. Tell them this, you're a half brain. Tell them, you're a half brain. It's just a room of half-brains. Okay, now hear me. This is not, like, I'm not making fun. I'm not putting you guys down. This is the way God has designed the brain to work. This also gives you a little insight into how and why sometimes we feel like the adults don't understand us. It's part of growing up. Now, here's the problem. I am not against technology, but we're going to talk about technology today, and we're going to talk about how I need all of you to be super conquerors. I need you to be heroes in how you operate these devices in your life, your screen time. Because I have a very dear friend of mine who, when she was 12 years old, fully in that half-brain stage of life, she met at the age of 12 a boy online. And he was amazing. I mean, he told me how pretty my smile was, and my eyes are pretty, and how funny I am. And when I told him that my mom's really making me mad, he told me his mom's making her mad, and we had this amazing conversation, and it's going on for months. You guys, the enemy of our souls comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and he comes with illusions. And what my friend didn't know is that the guy she's talking to online, because here's what my friend was doing. Okay, remember the farm door where he's kind of going like this? Okay, this is what my friend at the age of 12 was doing. I know what I'm doing, I'm 12. And the adults don't get me, they don't understand me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, the big window perspective, what my precious friend didn't know, is the 14-year-old boy she was talking to was actually a 21-year-old drug dealer. And so we put together a little video that tells parts of her story, and I want you to pay really close attention to how she's communicating, all the pressure that she's feeling from adults. And so at some point, she's feeling all this pressure from adults, and she goes, I can't handle it. I'm going to go to where I feel safe. So check this out.
I wanted you to stay after because I wanted to talk to you.
How did you misspell that word?
I wish you could be more like your sister. You've gone from an A to a D in this class.
Ask your mother.
Go ask your father. You're better than this.
You're not wearing that out of this house.
I know what you mean. My parents don't understand me either.
Do you have any idea how many calories are in that
You
cupcake?
really think you can play that sport? You're not athletic.
You look like a slob when you dress like that.
I need you to focus more in my class, like you used to.
I can see your belly.
You really need to give that up. You sound horrible.
Have you been talking to that guy you met online?
You are way too young to date.
He seems super nice.
What's wrong?
How old is he?
Is everything okay at home?
Not right now.
What kind of picture did you send him?
So after she sent him a picture, here's what happened. Now she gave us permission, my friend gave us permission, and you're going to read some of the content as it was captured exactly as they were talking. If it's too small on the screen in the back to read it, just raise your hand and I'll read it. You guys read that? Too small? So this guy says, great pic, so hot, we gotta meet. Please, hello, still there? She finally says, sorry, lots on my mind. He says, what's up? You can talk to me. She says, parent, school, no one understands me. He says, you can tell me anything, I'll listen. So she likes that. He says, come on, let's meet. I don't know, I hardly know you. You plus me 24/7 is perfect. Pick you up after school tomorrow? I guess, she says, I'm nervous. Don't be, I'll take care of you, promise. You are sweet. Tomorrow then? Tomorrow.
When's the last time you did see her?
Yesterday morning, before she left for school.
About 7:30. Look, it's been over 24 hours. Where is she? Have you heard anything?
This is an image that we pulled off of a known trafficking site.
What's that? It's not my little girl.
I'm afraid that it is, sir. This is a site where men go looking for young girls.
She's 12. She's never even had a boyfriend. What kind of animal would go looking for my little girl?
So we're not going to talk about the kind of people. I'll just say this, that there are people out there that want to hurt kids. And can I just tell you something? That they have figured something out. They have figured out that a lot of us in 7th and 8th grade, we don't pay very close attention to what we're doing behind our screens. And they know that, and they want to play off of that. Now, I noticed some of you in the room by your Snickers, you picked up on the way that he wrote a message in there when he said, come on, which indicates to me that you have some knowledge of the world of pornography. Pornography is defined as images that are not artistic, but they are images and they are videos and compilations of different things designed to bring a certain response in the mind and the body. And she, as an innocent 12-year-old, didn't pick up on what he was talking about in that video there. But here's what I want you guys to understand. You guys are actually blessed to live in a technology era, but you also have some real difficulties. Because here's the thing, you are literally the most connected generation that's ever lived on planet Earth. But guess what, you guys? A lot of your generation is the loneliest generation we've ever encountered. And guess what? Sometimes the loneliest place is when you're a room filled with people. We're also finding out that amongst 7th and 8th graders in America that we feel increasingly isolated for a lot of reasons. And one of the things that we're finding is there's a level of sadness amongst some of your friends and your peers that goes to a level of actual depression where we feel so depressed we don't hardly know what to do with ourselves. And so tragically, the enemy of our souls is causing a lot of people and a lot of students in America to feel like there's no other option than to just end your own life, to die by suicide. You guys, I was doing a school assembly, and I got done with the assembly, and a girl came up to me at the end, and she walked up to me, and she said, Mr. Tuttle, do you like my sweatshirt? It was a really cool hoodie. And I'm like, yeah, I like your sweatshirt a lot. It's really cool. And you guys, with no expression on her face whatsoever, she said this to me. She said, well, my best friend in the world just gave this to me, but she's dead. She died last week. She ended her life. But before she died, she knew I've always loved this sweatshirt, and so she wanted to buy it and send it to me. And she did that with a letter. So get this. They had her funeral on Saturday. On Monday, the package arrived, and I'm doing the school assembly on Tuesday morning. This girl with tears in her eyes begins to unpack how her friend in 7th grade had met a guy online. And remember how we unpacked all those desires and dissatisfactions, things that she thought was, oh, it's all great. He was playing off that, but you guys, he wasn't a boy her age. He was an adult male who had really bad intentions for her. And he manipulated her, and he caused her to do things that she never would have done before. He convinced her to take what we call hot pictures. He convinced her to take off some of her clothes and send him a picture because she thought it was a boy her age, and she thought that was okay. And then he convinced her to meet her in person. You guys, he did really, really bad things to her. But you know where it came into this slavery of what we call domestic minor sex trafficking, which in our ministry we're working really hard to end that, was he started taking those images and he tried to advertise her online. Remember the video, how we saw that? They're selling her online? That's what was happening. And so now I'm in this assembly, and this girl's wearing this really cool sweatshirt, but now she's kind of hugging her arms like this, like she's trying to be close to her friend who gave her the sweatshirt, and there's just these big crocodile tears coming down her face, and my heart's breaking for this girl because when I'm in that moment, you guys, I envision Jesus dying on the cross. And he took all the sin of the entire world on his shoulders. And the sin of what that man did to that girl. And all the story that encompassed that, I thought this didn't catch Jesus by surprise, but it breaks his heart. I thought if only someone could have been there for that girl to help her see that there was a different way. And my friend is hugging the sweatshirt and she's crying, and she says, I wish I'd have known. I wish I could have helped my friend. You see what was happening? When we get online, if we're not really careful, There's these levels of loneliness and isolation and depression. You guys, that is not the place to talk about that if you feel lonely, isolated, or depressed. Well, Mr. Tuttle, you don't understand. The adults in my life don't understand me. I do understand. I do get it. We just unpacked the half-brain thing. You're half-brains. It's not a put-down, I promise. I love you guys. But the science of the brain, the way God has designed this to work is you are in a phase of your life where you have to have trusted adults in your life to talk to. That's why your schools brought me in. To help you guys realize the seriousness of this and to appeal to you to be heroes, to look out for your friends. Because what happens is sometimes they're getting into controlling relationships. And you know what, you guys? Sometimes, and here's the thing. Well, okay, so I'm in 7th or 8th grade, so I'll join me and my buddy, and we'll be a half-brain plus another half-brain. So let's do the math on that. Half-brain plus half-brain makes a full brain. You think that's how it works? No. Not for this kind of stuff. So we have to have trusted adults, and you guys are blessed to be in this kind of a school environment where you are surrounded by trusted adults. Whether or not you have a trusted adult at home, I don't know your background, but I want you to know that you have trusted adults in this environment that you can reach out to. Guys that are in the room, I want you to understand something. This is not just something that happens to girls. So let me just give you guys a little bit of insight, because here's a pattern that I want you guys to be aware of, okay? Anybody in the room enjoy gaming? Okay, you guys like gaming? Hands up, enjoy gaming. Okay, so let me just give you guys a little bit of insight in the gaming world, because here's one of the patterns right now. So you got your headset on, you're chatting with whoever. Maybe you're getting in a chat room, you don't really know who you're talking to. So be really careful, guys, in those rooms, because these are places where there are people out there who want to hurt kids, are actually going to try to recruit kids. And one of the things that they'll do is they'll send pictures of someone who is not really them, and they'll try to entice you to meet them. And what we're finding is a pattern within law enforcement that increasingly, especially guys, are being lured in to meet like this female that they think they're going to meet because of the picture, and they show up and they're meeting some dude with, like, I don't know, hair all over his back and he's bald. I mean, I don't know, it's something crazy, right? Okay, so, all right, so what country did I grow up in, remember? India. So in India, they have a cola product called a Thumbs Up, right? So a Thumbs Up, and notice they spell thumb without the B, all right? So it's a Thumbs Up, and so a Thumbs Up is not, it's not as carbonated, so it's not as fizzy as a Coca-Cola, and it's a little bit sweeter, okay? So I was there, and it was really hot one day, and I had run out of water. I drink a lot of water, and I was out of water, and I was like, okay, I know something for a fact. If I drink water out of a tap in India, I will either die or wish I could die, because it's very bad water. So I found a street vendor, and he's selling these bottles of Thumbs Up. So I thought, I'm going to buy 2 of them, and I'm not just going to chug the first one because I'm super thirsty, and then I'll enjoy the second one. Have any of you ever chugged a carbonated product really fast? Okay, so I don't know what happens to you, but I'm a wimp, and so I cry, right? I cry. I drink something really carbonated, my eyes water. I can't help it. There's nothing I can do about it. I can try to be as tough and macho as I can, and if I chug it fast, my eyes just water. There's nothing I can do about it. And then you know what else? My throat burns, and I feel like I've got foam in my nose, right? So here I am. Imagine this. I'm in this capital city in New Delhi, India, and I'm chugging this Thumbs Up, and I'm down on this thing. I'm like, I don't know it yet, but there's a dead cockroach lodged in my throat. So just in case you've never had this experience, I just want you to know it is super disgusting, but I don't know what's happening. So here I am. I've just chugged this cola product. My eyes are watering. My nose is foaming. My throat's on fire, and I can't breathe. So one of the things you need to know about Indian cockroaches is the back shell is really hard. It's hard like a rock. And the way I had chugged this cola back, it's like it's lodged deep in my throat, and I'm like struggling to breathe. I'm dry heaving. I'm gagging because it's stuck in there like cement, okay? The other thing you need about Indian cockroaches is the underbelly is really soft and squishy because that's where they go potty. And my tongue keeps touching this. So my tongue keeps going to the underbelly of the cockroach, and it was so disgusting, so gross. So I finally am able to stick my fingers down my throat and pull this thing out of my throat and finally be able to breathe again. So on the count of 3, as loud as you can through your mask, I want you to say these words as loud as you can. Cola, cockroach. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's all I want you to remember today. Thank you very much. You can go home. Wait, what? Whoa, what? Yay, woo, I was kidding. Put your bag. What are you talking about? Okay, so remember I told you some things don't make sense. So here's the thing. We know that if we drink too much cola, it's going to be bad for us. It's okay to have a little bit. Well, guess what? Too much screen time, we know by the same scientists who understand God's design that at this age you're half brains. I promise you I'm not making fun. It's God's design. They know for a fact that too much screen time is bad for us. This is why some of you, when you've been playing your, Fortnite, whatever, for 7 hours, and you get done, and you want to punch a hole in the wall, it's not because you're bad kids, it's because the science of the brain, there's an addictive thing going on in there. Okay? So, here's what I want you to understand. It's okay to be online a little bit, but I really need you guys to be careful and really pay attention, because guess what, you guys? Here's what we're going to call the cockroaches. The cockroaches are the people that want to hurt us. The cockroaches are the people online pretending. The cockroaches are the people online who understand that there's actually a crime they call domestic minor sex trafficking, and they are counting on kids just like you to spend too much time online and not pay attention to who you're talking to. So I'm here to appeal to you to be the biblical concept of super conquerors, to go, okay, we're going to recognize this, and we're going to do something about this, because it's this easy to think, I know what I'm doing, I'm in 7th or 8th grade, but here's the big window perspective.
Meeting a teen girl online is actually pretty easy. You can go into any chat room and just start talking. Most of the girls are usually so insecure and desperate for
attention from older guys is totally flattering. They're so much more mature and understanding than the guys my age.
Age actually works to my advantage. They like to brag to their friends that they're dating an older guy, so I just play along and pretend I'm really interested.
Interested in the same things I am. You can talk forever and really get to know someone without worrying about looks or whatever. That's the best thing about
chatting seems unthreatening to them, so they lower their guard. After a while, I start talking about how we're soulmates and how lucky we are to have found each other.
Other people don't understand. I know what I'm doing. If you really care about each other, there's nothing wrong with
meeting them is the goal. Once I get them out of their house, well, that's when things get really interesting.
So there's your cola cockroach. So listen to me, guys. If you guys are engaging on the phone on social media, how many of you are active on social media? Hands up. Okay, you have social media accounts. Come on, raise your hands, be honest. Yes, Snapchat counts. One of the worst apps out there, by the way. Okay, so most of you in the room are active on social media. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to give you guys a kindergarten principle. This is going to blow your mind. I guarantee you have never heard anything so deep as this. Okay? This is here. Are you ready? Okay, you're going to have to sit up, because this is going to blow your minds, okay? Put your back in the chair, take it, because I promise you, you have never heard anything this deep and this profound, okay? So you just got to get ready for this, because it's going to change your world, right? Are you ready? So here's the truth. If you don't know them, you don't know them. What? Oh my word. That was like a Russ deep thought. Okay, so here's the thing. It's such a simple kindergarten thing. But check this out. Not that long ago, I had a girl come up to me at the end of an assembly. There was about 800 kids in the assembly. And you guys, seriously, she could have walked out of the room. I would have never even known she existed. But she walked up to me. I just want you to know, I am super safe online. Okay, so that wasn't exactly her body language, but that was completely her attitude. And I was like, that's fascinating. I'm so happy for you. Would you like a medal? And she just looked at me like, what? I said, well, you're so safe online. Why don't you tell me how safe you are? You guys, here's the thing, because I know students, it was a cry for help. And here's how safe she was online. She was talking to this guy, thought he was amazing. She'd taken her clothes off, sent pictures, and this girl's in 8th grade, okay? And here's the thing. It took all of about 5 minutes to figure out the dude lived in Morocco. You know where Morocco is? It's in Africa. Okay? You guys, God calls us to purity and to holiness, and there is no greater barrage coming against you in that area of your life than the content that we can see online. And it breaks my heart, but for students that are engaging in this activity, and you just need to know something, I hope the pattern would be different in a Christian school, but guess what? I go to Christian schools a lot, and I don't necessarily see a whole lot of difference between Christian schools, Catholic schools, other private schools, and public schools. So I want to talk to you guys about a little bit about the disconnect sometimes that happens if we attend a Christian school, that we think, oh, we're fine just by the fact that we attend a Christian school. Let me tell you guys this. I can sit in my garage all day long and make car noises and honk a horn, and it doesn't turn me into a car. Duh. So just going to church and just attending a Christian school doesn't make you a Christ follower. Just because your parents have made that decision doesn't mean that for you. You have to have your own personal relationship with Christ. I was born into a pastor's family on a Sunday morning. I had to wait an entire week before I went to church the first time. And then we went to India to be missionaries. And then I came home, went to Bible school, and I was a pastor, and now I do this parachurch ministry. I understand this world. I want to help you understand, you guys, one of the biggest challenges to your spiritual life is going to be these devices. So I want to appeal to you to understand what you're fighting and realize in the tangible world where kids are increasingly engaging in sexting, here's one of the patterns I'm finding in high school. You know when you're in high school, you're in a really long-term relationship, like, 3 weeks. I mean, long-term. So one of the patterns is there's an expectation that we're going to engage in this kind of activity, sending hot pics. But you know what's happening all the time is there's this word here called sextortion, where these pictures, you guys, are being used against us. Here's where it enters into the criminal world of domestic minor sex trafficking. There are adults out there that know sometimes as students we're not being careful with these things in our lives, and they'll use that against us. It's a plan of the enemy of our souls to kill, steal, and destroy. I just want you to know about it so you can raise up a higher standard and go, you know what, not me. Not me, not my friends, not in this school. Not going to happen. You need to understand that anytime, even you at 7th or 8th grade, if you decide to share those kind of images, you need to understand something. By federal law, that's child pornography. What you also need to understand is, because I speak to so many thousands of students about this topic, I have employers out there that go, someday we want to hire these students. Would you please give them a message? So here's the message from people that want to hire you someday. What you do now in your life online can never be erased, and it'll never go away. Do you know how people hire today? The first thing they do is not look at your resume, which that's important. They don't work first at your grades, which is very important. They don't look at who your references are, which is also important. You know what the first thing employers do today? The first thing they do is they go to social media to see what you look like on there. So please establish patterns. You guys are only in 7th and 8th grade. You have an amazing opportunity to get a head start on your peers, to follow biblical guidelines and godly principles of how you live your life in real life and online. It's an amazing opportunity you guys have. And I'm so confident you guys that you're going to go, you know what? Now that we know, now that we're paying attention to this, we're going to do things a little bit different. Because a lot of times we think that as we get older, these things get easier. But you guys, Jessie was an 18-year-old girl whose boyfriend convinced her to send those kind of pictures. And when they broke up, he used those pictures against her. And you guys, the tragic story of Jessie's story is this. As an 18-year-old girl, she ended her life because she couldn't handle the pressure. You know what? I want you guys in this room to say that's never going to happen to a friend of mine. I'm going to be someone who will raise a standard that God's called me to in a different level, to understand there's more here than meets the eye. Some things don't make sense. I'm not going to look through a tiny little peephole at this thing. I'm going to have a big window of perspective and say, God, give me wisdom as I live my life on this device. I'm going to show you guys in junior high a video that uses old technology. So you're going to see some things called Blackberries and some flip phones, okay, to show you how easy it was even back then to get in trouble online. And there's a lot of teachable lessons in this video, so check this out. Can you guys read that? It's from her boyfriend. I need to see you now. Send me a hot pic. So do you send it? So we know what the right answer is. We say no. She puts them in the BlackBerry trash can. I wish my iPhone had that BlackBerry trash can. I think that's pretty cool. And she goes back to homework. Yay. Okay, so made a good choice, which hopefully everyone in this room will make. But guess what? Too many people don't. So we're going to see what happens if they made a different choice. So there's Steve. Oh, we got the picture. Should he show his friends? I really want to be cool. I really want to show my friends. Okay, we know he should not, but guess what? You sent the picture. You don't have a choice now.
Check this out. Whoa. Yo, send that to me real quick. I'm not gonna. Come on, send that to me.
So hopefully a young man with godly standards won't behave like this, but now he's got a decision, should he pass it on? Well, we know he should not, but guess what? Once you've sent the picture, you literally have no control of those images anymore.
Look at that, boys. Check that out, boys. I had to send this to Mark.
I have to send this to Mark? Like somebody's got a gun to his head making him do this? No. So it goes viral with old technology. So first those girls are kind of like, oh no, our friend, and now they're turning into the mean girls, and now it's really going viral all through the whole school. And now it reaches her little brother at home. And that's her mom. That is not her dad. So, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm 7th and 8th grade. So the big window is, okay, I'm not against you guys having technology. What I would like you guys to do is understand from a Christ-centered perspective that I'm asking you to say, God, give me wisdom in how I'm going to live my life online. Because my bet would be some of you in the room are doing some things that might fit some of these patterns. Based on that, this is not a shame thing. This is a please understand that if you want respect in person and online, you've got to give it to get it. That's in real life, and that's online. So here's the thing. Some of you have your accounts, and I don't care what the app is, and your parents probably may or may not know about that, but then a lot of you in the room, you have your fake account. And that's the account I want to talk to you about, because it's in your fake account where you're going to feel like you can get away with some stuff. Let me just remind you, the Bible says, the eyes of the Lord wander to and fro. He knows your thoughts before you think them. He knows every action, every word, every attitude. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God. Okay? So I don't want that to be like a scare tactic with you. I just want you to know that God, in his wisdom and compassion, understands your struggles. And so if you feel like there's no one I can talk to about this, I want you to understand at the end of the assembly, there are adults in this room that you can talk to about this, and ongoing as time goes on in the next couple weeks, that there are people that you can talk to. Because for the sake of my 13-year-old friend, Rosalie, she was 13, you guys, and the same things happened to her, the same pattern. She got online, I know what I'm doing, didn't have a trusted adult to talk to, thought she was talking to someone her same age. She was, and it was someone. Remember, I told you there are people out there that want to hurt kids. I wish there weren't. I wish I could just come and give you like a good comedy routine and make you guys walk out of here and feel really good about yourselves. But that's not what God's called me to do. He's called me to give you guys insight into this terrible darkness that the enemy of our souls wants to use against us by taking some technology that honestly is really, really cool and can do some amazing things. Like they tell me my iPhone 10 has enough technology to launch multiple rocket ships to the moon and bring them back. It's got that much power technology. That's crazy. Or, hey, look at me. So the guys are like, whatever. The girls are all like, I know y'all girls, guys. Okay, so it's kind of like you got to just get the perfect angle, and the pucker lip thing just got, and the legs, and then just the whole thing, right? Okay, and then what are you gonna do with that on this amazing device? Okay, so it's okay. It's okay. Take your pictures, but be really, really careful. Because here's something I need you guys to say. There's a rhythm of safety I need you to grasp hold on to. Here's why. There are students out there that are willing to actually meet with people in person. They only meet online. Please don't do that. If you've done that, you need to talk to somebody about that and let them know. Please be so careful with these images that you may be tempted to take or may have received. I'm begging you guys to understand the big picture of how this works and don't engage in those activities, okay? This is my dog Bandit. Isn't he cute? Yeah, so Bandit is a purebred miniature Australian Shepherd. He is absolutely awesome sauce. Okay, he's the best dog ever. He's my running buddy. And a couple of years ago, Bandit was gaining weight. I couldn't figure out why, because nothing had changed in his diet. He's still getting a lot of exercise. So I took him to the vet. And the vet says, well, Bandit has a very special metabolism. I'm like, well, what does that mean? It sounds expensive. And he goes, well, he said, here's the thing. Bandit is going to have to go on a special diet. I'm like, what is that? He says, well, I'm going to recommend this thing, and it's all like written in French, and it's crazy. And he goes, it's $85 a bag. I'm like, what? Like, the dog eats rabbit poop, okay? Like, what are you even talking about? Why would I spend, I'm not $85 a bag on dog food. That's crazy. I'm a dog owner. He's my dog. I'm not spend $85. I'm stupid vet. $85. No way. Stupid. So guess what I do? I spend $90 a bag with tax on my dog. Very much. Thank you. Because I love my dog. How many have pets? Yeah, you love your dog? Yeah, you love your pets? Okay, so think about this. When Jesus died on the cross, as much as we love pets, do you realize he didn't die for the animals? He died for us. And here's something I want you to know. I've never met anybody who wasn't important. And I don't want this to come across as cheeseball in this room today, but I want you to understand this. Every single one of you has so much purpose and so much value. You have your own unique personality. Some of you in the room, when you laugh, you probably snort, right? And you do all these different weird things within your personality. God created you that way for a purpose. Listen to me carefully. Your value in life is not based on how many likes and shares you have online. Your value in life does not mean that I've reached this point in life because I got to this level in this game. Your value in life comes from the person of Jesus Christ who died on the cross for you, rose again, is coming back to take us to be with him for eternity. Now, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy some things in life online, but I'm appealing to the super conqueror in each of you to understand you're worth so much more, because here's the thing, the enemy is out there and he's looking for kids to devour. And technology is the place where this tool of pornography is going to get a death grip on your life if you are not careful. Because the enemy takes a look at it like this. He wants you to take those images and convince you that people are simply a sport or property, and that enters into this crime of domestic minor sex trafficking where kids are simply sold as product. And Jesus has a better plan. I need you guys to understand something. If you're engaging in pornography at this age, I want you to understand something very, very clearly. By God's design, when we put things into our brain, into our minds, there's a chemical reaction that happens. And you need to understand this reality, that viewing pornography messes up your brain as though you were taking drugs. I had a young man in a public school recently walk up to me, and he told me, he said he was actually surfing pornography during his class. And when he went to his next class, which was English class, the professor asked him to open a Word document and work on things. And he told me this with tears in his eyes. He said, Mr. Tuttle, he said, I was bringing back up the images I'd just seen. I want you guys to understand something. This is not an area to play around with. And don't fall for the lie of the enemy. Well, someday I'll get married and I'll take care of it and it won't be an issue. You guys, I wish I could tell you how many young men in their 20s and 30s and young ladies in their late teens and early 20s who we are trying to help because the addiction is so strong, it's like a grip on their lives. Please hear me. This is the age to have the most embarrassing, honest conversation you may have to have, but I promise you, there are trusted adults in this school and part of this community that understand the issue and want to help you, because here's where the enemy of your souls wants to keep you. See, every one of these things is a lie. And if some of you in the room feel like this, you feel worthless or unlovable or despicable because of maybe some things you've done, maybe you feel broken, there's no hope for you, I want you to understand something, that's not God's message for you. But Russ, you understand, I've made some of the mistakes you're talking about online today. Yeah, okay. No shame here. Let's understand it. We deal with it. We move on. We appeal to the super conqueror in you. So my friend who was 12 years old and got in trouble, showed the video about her where you were reading content back and forth. When she was 12 years old, met the 14-year-old boy who was actually a 21-year-old drug dealer. You guys, she had everything going for her. She was active in her church. She was a straight-A student in school. She was such a good softball player at the age of 10, 11. She had college scouts watching her play. Off the hook talent at the age of 10, 11. But she met a boy 12 years old online, made a horrible mistake. Here's what happened, you guys. You remember how the video ended? So let's meet after school. They met. He did unthinkable things to my friend, you guys. He took pictures of what he'd done to her and videos, and he started advertising her online. That's why the video ended. My girl's online. What kind of person would do this to my 12-year-old girl? And you guys, she was sold as the victim of the crime we call domestic minor sex trafficking from the time she was 12 until she was 14 and a half, still living at home, still going to the same school, same church, same softball team. And I want you guys to understand something. My friend's story, in our ministry, we never re-exploit kids who've been exploited. Does that make sense? They've been hurt. The only reason I'm telling you the story because she said, please tell my story. I want my life to make a difference. She cannot talk to you today. When she was 14 and a half, she officially became a runaway of the state because the people that were harming her started selling her all over the country at the age of 14 and a half. Now, I can't tell you how or why it happened, but she got away from these people for about 3 months. And so you're going to see her birthday on her 16th birthday. This is my beautiful friend on her 16th birthday. But behind this beautiful smile and those gorgeous eyes is a young lady who's had a drug and alcohol addiction forced on her starting at the age of 13. She didn't ask for this. See, all she was doing was a 12-year-old girl who got online, thought she was talking to a 14-year-old boy. And this is her statement that she wants you to understand. She says this one bad decision can change your life forever, and evil comes nice. I know what I'm doing. I'm in 7th or 8th grade, and the adults don't understand me. Big window perspective is, it's not a put down, I promise you. But in your half-brain stage of life, the big farm window, instead of looking through the people, is I've got to have trusted adults in my life to talk to when I feel lonely or isolated or depressed. And I'm wondering, is life worth living? What's going on? You guys, this next picture is really hard to look at. I'm just going to tell you, okay? It's my friend in a hospital because this is my friend on the morning of her 21st birthday. This is what pornography does. This is what addictions do to people who feel like they're now going to purchase another human being. She was in the hospital in this condition for weeks. She only had 5% of her heart function. She was in the hospital in this condition for a long time, and she got out. So she kind of noticed around her waist there when she got out. See that around her waist? There are 10 pounds of batteries that she could never come unplugged from. There's this little cord right there. Right there is a little machine. And that machine, basically that cord goes into her physical side, and it's connected up into her chest, and it's a little mechanical heart. It's the only thing that kept her alive for a long time. Last week, you guys, they had to unplug my friend from that machine. They released her to go home in hospice care. She no longer has that keeping her alive. She has a heart IV, and it's a matter of moments. So I talked to her yesterday. And some of you with some kids again, I said, you still want me to keep telling your story? I'm going to try to visit with her in person tomorrow. And she said, Russ, please keep telling my story. She said, I want my life to matter. I want all the mistakes I made to count. Maybe one young person will listen. So she has a message for you guys. Number one, she says this, please tell them their life online is not a joke. There's people out there looking to hurt them. And number two, she says, please tell them to not do this journey alone, but to talk to trusted adults. That's the message from my friend. We're going to change directions really quick. Okay, I think you guys brought your backpacks. So in your backpacks, you have pens or pencils, okay? So all the adults in the room that are helping us, here's why I need your help, guys, okay? Grab your pen or pencil. Pen preferred, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to ask you guys to take a really quick survey. This is anonymous, and it's voluntary, so I would love your help with this. Here's what I need you to do. This is the one time in school you do not write your name on the paper. Do not write your name on the paper. We don't want to know who you are. All we need to know is what grade you're in. So somewhere on that paper, I don't care where, preferably the upper right-hand corner, write your grade, either a 7 or 8. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. The surveys, the adults are handing out the survey. It's just a really quick check the box thing. So let's pass those out really quick. So do not overthink this. Don't share your answers with your neighbors. These results are not going to identify who you are. I need you to be completely honest with what this survey result is. And so get that filled out really, really quickly. And then we're going to end with a couple fun videos. And then you guys are actually going to make a video. So that's going to be really cool. Okay, so get those filled out really, really quick. We need your honest answers, please, not the answers that you think are the right answers. And just real quickly for clarification, while you guys are filling these out, because we have so many tens of thousands of students that fill these surveys out, there's an auditing process that we have to go through. So I just have to prove, we keep these in a file, that it's actual real-life students that are filling these out. Like it's not me sitting at my table filling them out. So while you guys are filling these out, I just have to take quick pictures of you guys, and we keep, so that we know that it was actual students filling these out. Okay, so this isn't anything creepy, I promise. It's just you guys filling them out. Okay, so get those filled out really, really super fast, and then when you're done, flip them over. Yes. Yeah, so write your grade in the upper right-hand corner, 7 or 8, and nothing else. No name.
So the top right-hand corner.
Top right-hand corner.
Either 7 or 8.
Top right-hand corner. Do not put your name on it. If you put your name on it, get another one. And the honest answer, please. Your guys' honesty is a really good thing on these because you know what it does? It helps us understand even more into teenage culture in America. That's giving us tremendous tools to help kids that are in a lot of trouble. So you are doing a service in this by giving us your honest answers. So I appreciate that very, very much. So when you're done, flip them over, pass them. Let's go pass to the outside aisle, not the center. And these adults will pick them up. You guys have been really great to talk to. Thoroughly think you guys are awesome. Okay, so as you guys are collecting those, here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue on because we've got about 8 minutes before the high schoolers come in and you guys head off to whatever is their next thing. So here's what I want us to do. Okay, so in a moment, you guys are going to stand up and I'm going to record you guys. And here's what you're going to do. You are going to stand up and with everything we've learned today, you're going to apply it like this. You're going to say this, not in my life, not in my school, not in my future. And then you're going to yell, cola cockroach, and you're going to make amazing vomit sounds, okay? Because here's the point. All I want you to remember today is cola cockroach, okay? So the point being is too much time online is not good for me because there could be a cockroach out there. Now, people always ask me the question, did you drink the second cola? Yes. I absolutely did, but guess what? I drank it different. Like, I didn't chug it. I drank and looked, right? So if you've made mistakes online, when you go back online, you do it different. I'm going to use really bad English here, but you're going to go back online mo better. Okay? So, in a moment, you're going to stand up, and we're going to do the guys against the girls, okay? And it's going to go like this. You're going to stand up, and you're going to yell, not in my life, not in my school, not in my future, and it looks a little bit like this. So guess what, you guys? At that school, there were 4 kids in that school who were being harmed. And a 7th grade girl walked up to me at the end of the assembly and said, here's my phone. There's a cockroach in my life. And she wasn't talking about a bug. And the very next day, this guy was arrested in jail, $1.3 million bond. So this is not fake stuff. This is real. Now, how many of you have younger siblings, like littles? Okay, so I'm going to be back here, I think, April 21st, talking to the elementary kids. It's going to be a totally different presentation than what you guys got. I guarantee you. But look at these littles. So I have no clue why the littles always fall down. Like, I have no clue. When we do little, they always fall down. There's always a handful of them that fall down. I don't get it. Do your littles puke at home and fall down? I don't know. I have no clue, okay? So here's another school of 7th and 8th graders. So there's a reason I'm showing you this school, because when we got done with this assembly, there were 3 boys in 7th grade that got in trouble at a federal level. Because remember I told you that passing these kind of images is a federal crime called child pornography? 3 boys got caught doing that. And here's what happened. They got a message from Sarah online. And they said, we want pictures of one of the girls in the school. And so they got those pictures, and they sent them to Sarah. Sarah was actually an adult male. And here's the tragic reality. Here's how the enemy of our souls steps into this thing. I know what I'm doing. Sarah wants pictures. No big deal. Okay, the big window picture. The enemy of our souls had an adult male infiltrate the lives of 3 7th grade boys. Here's the tragic ending, you guys. One of those 3 7th grade boys died by suicide because he couldn't take the pressure. So while we're having fun with this cola cockroach thing, I want you to understand the seriousness of what we're talking about, okay? So this is the level of enthusiasm I would love for you guys to do, to say, not just because we're going to make a video and it's going to be guys against girls, but because we're going to own this. At SCA, we are Christ-centered students that are going to raise a higher standard. We're going to obey that call to righteousness and holiness and purity, and it's going to come down to the most basic elemental ways we live our lives online and in person. So check out the guy in the front row. And there's a whole bunch of great students to watch in this one, but this one guy in the front, he's about to give himself a hernia. Yeah, right there. All right, SCA, so here's the thing. So I'm going to give the ladies the choice, because ladies, would you like to go first, or would you like the guys to go first? Guys go first. Gentlemen, stand up. All right, so guys, over here on this side, I need you to kind of scoot in over this direction so we can get everybody in here in the video. Guys, I have a feeling the ladies are going to come for you. I got a feeling they're going to see how well you do. So I don't know, gentlemen. I think you could own this if you want to own it. All right, guys, here we go, up here. On the count of 3. Why don't you guys in the back kind of scoot in that way, okay? Scoot over. Let's get everybody in here. All right, gentlemen, on the count of 3. On the count of 3, you are going to yell, and you're going to go crazy. Not in my life. Not in my school. Not in my future. Cola, cockroach, and puke your brains out. Okay, ready? Here we go, boys. 1, 2, 3. Not in my life. Not in my school. Not in my future. Cola, cockroach. All right, ladies. What do you think, ladies? All right, ladies, stand up your feet. I don't know. I got a lot of faith in the ladies in the room. All right, guys. Shh. Guys. Ladies, I believe in you. I think you can do this. You saw what they did. So on the count of 3, you're going to yell, not in my life, not in my school, not in my future. Cola, cockroach, then puke your brains out and your neighbor's brains out, right? Okay, here we go. Ready? On the count of 3, ladies. Own it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. We don't boo. We don't boo. But I will give you guys a redo if you want. No? Too shy? Here's how I want to end. I believe in you guys with everything in my heart. Because guess what? This is not a fun topic to talk to students about. Because this is like right where you live. Don't you